Let's go. Welcome back, guys, to this wonderful day of podcast. Hey, everybody, let's give it up. This week is the first week of football.
It is the football week. We got football tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Saturday, college football, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Oh, dude, I'm excited for this week. Well, welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in again on another episode of Halftime Adjustments. We appreciate all you guys who listening today. On my left, I got my best friend.
It's Derek Benavides here.
It's Derek, and on my right, I got my boy
Colton McCarley checking in from the Colorado trip.
He went on a Colorado trip. That's why we didn't record yesterday, but we're always gonna have a podcast at least once a week. So we're doing it today.
Yeah.
But we're gonna start with the news. Derek, I'm gonna hand this one off to you. What's going on in today's football world?
So, breaking news: George Kittle has come out with a significant injury. I think it's a groin injury, right?
Yeah, it is a groin injury.
Yeah. So he's questionable for week 1, which is very upsetting because he's always injury prone. That's one thing that we're not excited to see already going into the season. George Kittle already having an injury.
I picked him up, and I was iffy about picking him up, but I like him as a tight end. But you're right, he is
when he
injury
plays.
prone.
My gosh.
Yeah, so he's questionable for week 1 already, which is not good. But that bodes well for his counterpart, which is Deebo Samuel, who just got cleared from injury. So he is in line to play week 1. So we're looking at Deebo and Brandon Ayuk to probably be the focal points over there for week 1 in San Francisco. So
No, yeah, for sure. He is day to day, like Derek said right now. He is questionable for week 1. But always, just kind of keep an eye on him. If he is on your starting lineup, please keep an eye on him because he might be starting, he might not be starting.
Yep, just keep an eye on the news. Put in your backup when necessary. Obviously keep an eye on what's going on. So
yeah, and we got interesting news that Dawson Knox got signed with the new deal.
Oh yeah,
you got any more information on that, Colt?
Yeah. How about a better tight end than George Kittle these days?
Oh, my gosh.
He signed a new 4-year extension, making him... They haven't released the full numbers on it yet, but they've said that he is going to be one of the top 5 highest paid tight ends, which I think is totally fitting.
Yeah.
He's going to be really good this year, and I do think he'll have a better season than guys like Kittle.
But do you think that he's going to have a lot of targets, especially with, Stephon Diggs and being... with the team,
I don't know.
Gabriel.
There's a lot of mouths
Davis.
to feed, and it's not like Dak Prescott likes the security blanket, but Josh Allen doesn't really need that. He's not one of those quarterbacks that falls to the... He likes to sling it down the field.
Yeah, and he'll be fine running it too. He'll be fine running the ball too.
You have Singletary, Gabe Davis, Cooks. There's a lot of guys. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how he fits in. They like him enough to sign him as one of the top 5 tight ends in football, so you think he has a role in this offense.
I do think he could be top 5 next year, honestly.
He had a down year last year, but the year before that, he had a phenomenal season. So I'd like to see him come back to that awesome form.
He was injured for a lot of last year too. So the sky's the limit for this guy. He's got a lot of potential, and he looked really good before he got injured too. So, he's only 25 years old. He's in his prime right now. So, I would look to see about definitely keeping him up in the tight ends. He'll probably be a top 5 tight end for sure.
Yeah, I really think he will be. And in redraft leagues, he'll probably be one of the top ones off next year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a good sign. I like him. So I know last week we discussed Dameon Pierce being number 1 of the starter for the Patriots. Well, it's
official.
The Patriots.
For the Texans.
Texans, yeah, Patriots. The Texans. But it is
it's official now.
It's official now. He is your number 1 running back for the
officially
Texans.
the number 1 running back for the Houston Texans.
So put him in your flex, put him in your RB2 because he'll do work over there. Maybe the Texans as a team isn't that great, but I think he will have a lot of workload. He will have a full workload. Besides Brandon Cooks being number 1 target there, I think they're just going to run the ball.
I'm not concerned about them like keying in on him just a ton.
Yeah.
To just make sure he doesn't get any traction early.
That's what I was about to say. Like I wouldn't start him this week, honestly, against the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh my gosh,
Darius Leonard over there.
He's healthy now.
He's good to
go. He just got cleared,
so
he's in good shape.
I don't think this game is like one of the games that I would avoid starting him just because of that defense over there. And
DeForest Buckner.
Yeah, they got a great defense. I mean, if he does good, you're in amazing shape because that's a great defense to start off with. So if he does good, then just freaking start him.
It's a sign of better things to come.
Yeah, it's a sign of better things to come.
I mean, hopefully he makes the Houston's look a little better because since 2001, Houston's been looking just god-awful.
Well, they signed Laramie. They traded for Laramie Tunsil, so they have some offensive line pieces that hopefully he can run behind. But with the new quarterback and Mills and the new, there's just a lot of new at that team.
Yeah,
and
I mean it's a rebuild. They're rebuilding, so
they've been rebuilding for a long time.
How much can you expect out of a running back who's on a rebuilding squad like that?
Yeah,
Why are we putting so much hype on a rookie? I mean, a great, preseason for sure, but I don't know. It just worries me.
I mean, you can definitely build around him if he does great this season. You can just try to build around him. Maybe see what he wants, what he needs. Because I mean, if this guy is your starter, your star on the team, then you have to work with him.
He's in a similar situation with Nick Chubb, I think, to be honest,
Ooh,
because Nick Chubb doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, he's got Amari Cooper over there, and Dameon Pierce has Brandon Cooks over here. I mean, obviously they're not the same, and their ADPs are different, but I mean, they're in a similar situation where they're not going to have a great quarterback, at least for the first 11 games. So,
and what do they always say about Nick Chubb? He's one of the most elite running backs in football, but he isn't the best fantasy running back.
Yeah.
So are we going to be saying the same thing with Pierce at the end of the season? That'll be interesting to see. He's a rookie. I'm excited about him, but I'm with Derek on this. I would not start him week 1. I think there are better opportunities over Pierce, even though he has a starting.
I think he'd be a good flex. But
if you have that luxury, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, can argue, bench him or flex him. But yeah, definitely your flex type, I wouldn't put on as your RB1 and 2.
Okay.
But no, also news, Trubisky is an official starter for Steelers. It's not what's
all right.
Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, it's not Pickett. It's not Pickett.
Small hands Pickett.
Which I kind of saw that coming. You want your rookie to kind of sit back, watch the veteran.
At least for the first
I guarantee you, it always happens. Trubisky's going to do bad one game, probably 2 games, and then that second game he does bad. Boom, Pickett's going to go in there, and he's going to just dominate. He's going to dominate.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm not too excited about this news. I mean, I think it's the better pick for week 1 at least, but I don't know. It's to be expected. Like, Trubisky's not going to do it. You're not starting Trubisky this week.
This is a nothing move in my opinion.
If anything, he's on your bench, or he might even be on waivers. So, I'm not starting him this week in any leagues.
Well, I know one thing for sure, Derek, and I'm going to hand this off to you.
Okay.
You got Robinson and ETN sharing carries for week 1.
So this is actually very scary for me because we knew Robinson was coming back for the first week. We knew he was going to be healthy for the first week, but we didn't know that they were going to be splitting carries, and that's something that's kind of it's shocking to me because we all thought that it was going to be ETN the whole way. The whole offseason we thought it was going to be ETN.
Pretty much, it seemed that way. Like
it seemed that way. They were saying that it was ETN.
Robinson is hurt. He's going to be back. I think it said like week 3 or 4. Like a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like ETN would be number 1. But now they're just sharing. They're going to take 50-50 workload.
Right. And so, but you got to think about it as well. James Robinson's in the same situation as Cam Akers. He tore his Achilles. So it's to be expected to see what James Robinson can actually do with this torn Achilles. And I mean, they'll probably rely more on ETN, and that's why I kind of have ETN like doing better. But we've seen what James Robinson can do as the number 1 over there. We've seen him be great. And
So based on fantasy predictions, who would you start?
I would definitely start ETN.
ETN? Okay.
But it lowers my expectations for what he can do.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, I don't think he's going to ball out, have 25 touches,
I think he's definitely on the snap count. Like, he has to be.
So?
He has to be on a snap count, and There's a stat that I wanted to bring up on this when it comes to running backs who have suffered Achilles injuries since 2010.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see how little these guys actually have success once they tear an Achilles, which is what happened to both Cam Akers and James Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
So since 2010, there have been 16 players who have torn an Achilles and tried to make a comeback in the NFL. 11 of those guys have completely faded out of the league. They haven't even played another down. And the other 5, some have had success, but no one, like the closest one is Marlon Mack. He finished as running back 21 on the season. His next season, he finished as running back 114.
Yeah.
And then you have Cam Akers, who his best finish was RB 46. Last year finished as RB 129. So when you tear an Achilles, it's a long road back. And this is something that we're looking at 2 guys, Cam Akers and James Robinson. We're both like, man, when they come back, they're going to be great. Stats show maybe one of them will be great. Yeah. Maybe one of them.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And they're probably not going to be great. They're just going to be bang on average at best. Probably have a decline from the previous year if they're even in the league.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't even think this is significant news. And it's funny because this document that I have actually compares it to a Liz Frank injury, which is the ETN injury. And there have, since 2010, the exact same thing. They tried to grab the amount of people who've had it. It's been the most notable, most recent one was Joe Mixon, who finished as RB10 before and after the surgery finished as RB4. Le'Veon Bell in 2013 had surgery, finishes the RB1 the next year.
Okay.
So these guys who have Liz Frank injuries have great shelf life, and they normally come back and have very sustainable long-term careers, whereas the Achilles is just a killer. So that's why I like ETN a lot more, and I think this is not going to cut into his target share at all.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see definitely ETN producing great numbers for the entire year. I mean, that's not anything to be worried about. And they're going up against Washington week 1, too, which is also nothing to fear either. I mean,
especially since Chase Young re-aggravated his knee. He was at a Von Miller training camp and re-aggravated his knee, and apparently that frustrated the Commanders. They're mad at him for attending that camp, so they have bad blood at the GM level.
Oh man!
No, I mean, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see. I think week 1 is gonna be a 50-50, but like Colton said, probably progressing throughout the season. ETN will get more carries. He'll get more touches than Robinson.
Right. Yeah, I can see that for sure. Especially if James Robinson re-aggravates his injury for sure. But yeah,
I mean, it's possible.
I'm going to say something bold on this. I don't think Robinson has more than 10 carries. Actually, probably less than 15 snaps total on the day. I think he's going to be extremely limited. It will not be a 50-50. He may have 10 carries on the day at best, is what I think you can expect from him week 1.
ETN is definitely for sure going to be your third down running back and your red zone running back.
Yep.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
can see that, yeah. I think occasionally you'll see James Robinson maybe take a couple snaps away. But yeah, I think ETN will probably have the bulk of the workload for sure.
For sure. But other running back news, this is going to be kind of shocking to people who haven't heard this already, but J.K. Dobbins is injured.
Yeah.
And Cole, I know you have more upside to that, so I'll give this to you.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins is one of my ride or dies this year. I really, really like him. But bad news on the injury front. Well, supposedly bad news. This is all sort of hearsay. But Lamar Jackson was in an interview today and said that J.K. Dobbins' knee is getting better day by day, to which he was quoted saying, hopefully he'll be out in a couple of weeks. Now, what that means, we have no idea. We don't know what be out means. Like, is he going to be out of a cast? Going to be out of what is that?
When you first said that, I thought he went to prison.
yeah, it's a weird phrase.
I really thought he went to prison, and I was like, "What did he do?" Like, oh my gosh,
Free J.K. Dobbins.
Free J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah,
our podcast is only going to J.K. Dobbins. Free J.K.
All
Dobbins.
proceeds go to J.K. Dobbins. Bail. No, it's a weird phrase to say it like that. You normally say, hopefully he'll be back, like something along the lines of that.
Hopefully week 2 he'll be back fully. He said how many weeks, so that's unknown.
Yeah. So hopefully,
so sorry for you guys who drafted J.K. Dobbins.
and expected in week 1.
Yeah, against the Jets too. It's a great matchup.
Jets,
It's a favorable matchup for him, but sounds like he's not going to be here.
But there's Mike Davis and Kenyon Drake. So go ahead and
hit the waivers.
Hit the waivers, guys. Hopefully you're number 1 waivers.
Well, speaking of Jets, I know that Zach Wilson is going to be out for at least the first 4 weeks. For the first 4 weeks, and Flacco's going to start against Baltimore.
Yeah, Flacco's going to start.
So it's another rival matchup. So I mean, there's not much news there. You're not
right.
starting any of these guys. Yeah, really.
Joe Flacco back with Baltimore.
And then Emmanuel Sanders retired after 12 years in the season. So Emmanuel Sanders is gone, no more. Which is, I mean, he was looking pretty good at the end of his career. I think he was doing pretty good for the Bills. I mean, but
not enough.
Not enough to start him. Well, maybe to start him a couple games, but I mean, not enough to keep him going for sure. But
yeah,
so.
So we always like a good rivalry, right? We always like, Texas versus Houston, the Mavs versus I guess
Spurs.
Houston too, right? Or Spurs.
Spurs, yeah.
The other Houston team. So what about the Eagles and Cowboys? We just got news that Jason Peters from the Eagles is going to the Cowboys.
Sure.
I always think that's kind of weird,
Peters.
Like rivals are trading each other's players. I mean, obviously, I don't think the players themselves, have beef with the Cowboys organization, but I just think it's kind of funny.
I mean, hopefully he'll add some sort of spark to that offensive line, but I mean, Jason Peters.
He is old, but
he's really
40.
old. He's 40.
Yeah. He's 40 years old. They like the physical on him, which is good to hear, but they're saying he's probably not going to be here for at least a couple of weeks.
Last week we spoke about King the Hill, one of our a little fun segment that we wanted to do, and we're actually gonna start this week. So pretty much, we pick a top running back or receiver that's gonna be number 1 this week. And to start with running back, I think we all agree with Jonathan Taylor.
Yes, so Jonathan Taylor is going to be our king of the hill this week. I mean, he's going up against the Houston Texans, the Texans, right?
Yep,
he's going up against the
Texans.
Houston Texans, so why not? I mean, he'll be our king of the hill for week 1. No surprise there, right?
Yeah, no surprise there.
Everybody agrees, right? So
yeah. And then we our second pick, that the player that we think might surpass them that next week, we call it our Prince of the Hill.
Yes, our Prince of the Hill.
Prince of the Hill,
the player that we think is going to surpass Jonathan Taylor for week 1.
So we
best
usually
fantasy points.
best fantasy points. We usually have the same King of the Hill, but we try to have fun and kind of get different players for our Prince of the Hill.
Yes.
And my Prince of the Hill is going to be Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
I think this is his comeback year. He's been training hard. Last year was supposed to be his comeback year, but that stupid injury is mind-boggling.
Fluke injury.
He was looking good too.
He was looking great, actually. The Giants had...
Sorry, but it's good enough word for you.
He was great. The Giants have changed up their offensive line. They got number 1 pick, Evan Neal. So I think he's gonna, surpass. I won't say surpass. He's gonna come up in the rankings for sure.
So you think he will be the guy to be
I think so.
You think he'll be number 1 this week?
I think so.
Jonathan Taylor.
I think so.
Okay, that's a good. You know what? That's very exciting for me that you think that, because I have him in our league.
There you go. So
I like that.
That'd be great.
I like that. That'd be great.
Who's yours, Derek?
So my Prince of the Hill this week is going to be Derrick Henry, and that's no surprise to me. I love Derrick Henry for the year.
I like Derrick Henry.
I think he's going to be great. I mean, he's coming back. I mean, from injury, but I think he's fully recovered. He was ready to go at the end of last season, so I think this season he's gonna be right where he left off at. He's gonna put up over 100 yards.
Hey, guess what?
What?
Derrick Henry plays the Giants. And Saquon plays the Titans.
I know. We gotta have a little bet here, so we think
which running back is going to win.
We're going to be really focused on one game.
We have our side bets, whoever wins, whoever buys the lunch, dinner, cookies.
Yeah, that's
all right. Well, man, that's a good pick, Derek. I like Derrick Henry. He's a monster.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's a monster.
King Henry.
He's King.
Well, he's King Henry, dude. He could be King of the Hill next week.
He could be King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Which is such a better title than King Henry. Like King of the Hill of our podcast is such a.
How about King of the Hill Henry?
King of the Hill Henry. I like
King
it.
of the Hill Henry.
King of the Hill Henry. All right, cool. What's your Who's your guy? Who's your prince?
Mine's going to be Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty easy. This guy is going to have the most of the two people y'all just spoke of, Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. He'll be used the most, I think. They have already said they're going to come out and use the heck out of him. And he also has the most PPR upside of anyone. A harder matchup than potentially, I think Saquon has a pretty hard matchup against the Titans.
No, yeah.
I think Giants is favorable for Derrick Henry. CMC goes up against the Browns. So you have to go up against Myles Garrett. Yeah, and you have, they have some players over there that you have to be worried about on defense. So, but again, I think it's in week 1, he doesn't have the chance to get injured yet, so that's great. And they're going to use him a ton, and he's going to have the PPR upside, and Baker Mayfield's going to rely on him to get him active early. So, yeah, I really like him.
Do you have the over of Christian McCaffrey catching 1 touchdown pass?
Yes.
This week?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd take the over on that for sure.
Take the over on.
Yeah. I don't think, I'd say comfortably at 2.
Oh yeah, 2.
Yeah.
You think he'll
2?
catch 2?
Okay, yeah, I think 2.
I could see 2 easily out of him on the day.
I'll see. You know what? I could see 1 touchdown
1.
pass, but no rushing touchdown.
Really?
You think he's just going to have 1
I
rushing?
think he'll just
or
have 1
touchdown?
touchdown pass.
I think he's gonna have
and
1 and 1. I think he might have 1 and 1.
I could see 1 and 1 too.
He might have 1 and 1.
Okay.
He's gonna have one day.
But so those guys are pretty much kind of like our second hit. Our third hit, we try to make it more interesting. We try to get players outside the top 15.
Yes.
Kind of like oh shoot, like this guy's out of nowhere had a crazy week.
Happens every week.
Every week. We can third string running backs can have an amazing week.
Yep.
My guy, I guess, based on just what happened this week, he might be in the top 15. But before this, he was definitely top 20. I think Dameon Pierce might be the one.
Pierce will be the number 1.
I think he
On
might
the week. That's a hot take.
on the week.
Dang, that's
I think he
bold
is.
prediction against the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Hey,
I like
stout
it.
defense.
I like it. You know what? If he's the number 1, then he has major upside for the rest of the year.
Which you have him too, so of course you're
And I
happy
have
about.
him.
yeah, like we said,
Guess what?
Derek loves your picks, man.
I love my picks. Sorry, guys.
man,
I love my picks.
Let me pause real fast. I just got this sports notification, and I saw injury news, and I just looked down and saw Jefferson.
Jefferson's
I
out
almost
versus the
lost
Bills.
my heart. I didn't see the whole thing, but it's Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson is going to
I
be
just
out.
saw Jefferson, and I kind of like, oh my god.
Yeah. He's officially out.
Not the important
No, it's
Jefferson.
not. God, I mean, they're all important. All life matters.
Okay.
All right, so that's my guy. Cole, who's your guy?
For my running up the hill, I have ETN. For all of the reasons why I said I don't like Robinson is why I love ETN this week.
I like it.
Not much to say. We've already spoken. He has an insane chemistry level with Trevor Lawrence, and I think that'll play into his ability to sort of work in those sweet spots. And they're going to know. I think Lawrence is going to know where he is before he even knows where he is.
Yeah.
They did it in Clemson. He had massive target share there, and I think it's just going to be. That's why they drafted him. They drafted him to make Lawrence happy. Same reason why they drafted Jamar Chase with Joey Burrow. Look how that turned out. So I think he could easily be the number 1 guy this week.
Yeah, I can see that, especially going up against Washington. I can see this getting out of hand pretty easily. So yeah, I could definitely see Travis Etienne getting a top spot, which would be great. I mean, that would be huge for him because. It would just prove to everybody that his upside was real.
Yeah, and he's a first-round pick, so he has a chip on his shoulder. He has something to prove.
Yeah.
And he's on my roster, so I really hope it happens.
What about yours, Derek? Who is going to be your running up the hill?
So my running up the hill is going to be Elijah Mitchell.
I love this pick.
So I love him, especially with the George Kittle news breaking. I think they're going to rely a lot on him. I mean, these guys
more than what I guess he was going to.
Yeah, more than what he was going to be. If George Kittle doesn't play, I think Elijah Mitchell has very high upside for this game specifically against the Chicago Bears. I could just see this one getting way out of hand with I could see the San Francisco's 49ers scoring a lot early and then them relying heavily on Elijah Mitchell for the rest of the game. So
here's my only fear with this guy. He missed all 3 preseason games due to a hamstring injury.
Yeah,
and those can
be
an injury
lingering.
bug.
Those can be very
linger
lingering.
bad. So he just returned on Sunday to practice. So a little scary.
Yeah,
you're right, man. Those are very just scary because you can be fine one day and then honestly just walking, jogging, and you go boom, just hits you.
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
Yeah, that is the scary news that might happen, where he could re-aggravate his injury. But hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully he can stay strong. So I have him as my running up the hill as being a number 1.
I do really like the pick.
I like the pick.
It's a good one.
It's a good pick. Okay, so that was running back, and now we're going with receivers.
Yes, we're going with receivers today.
So we all agree that Justin Jefferson could potentially be the king of the hill.
Yes, I think that Justin Jefferson could be the king of the hill.
We were debating on Jamar Chase or JJ, but we like.
Cup.
Yeah, JJ was
I
not really in the
guess
conversation, or Chase wasn't really in the conversation.
I guess Cup and Jefferson, but so Vikings goes up against Green Bay. Rivalry. It's a great game. They go back and forth every time.
Yeah.
So they're gonna play hard. On top of that, I feel like the Bills have a better secondary.
Yes. So we feel unanimously that the Bills will have a better secondary, and Cup will get stopped more than Justin Jefferson will.
So
you got to think he's going to be the focal point of teams this year.
Yeah,
like teams will look to make you. You're going to have to beat them somewhere else. It's not going to be Cup.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
It's not.
Cup. So Justin Jefferson is our king of the hill.
So my prince of the hill, I think Pittman might be the one who takes over Justin Jefferson.
Nice.
And dude, I've always been a fan of Matty Ice. I love him, dude.
Yeah.
And I think with him and that new offense, he's gonna do amazing work.
He's going to be elite.
He's gonna be elite.
He's gonna be back in his true form.
Yeah,
you think?
He's gonna go to Super Bowl.
I hope so. I have Michael Pittman on one of my other teams, so hopefully he does score and go big. So
who's yours, Derek? Who's your Prince of the Hill?
So my Prince of the Hill is going to be Stephon Diggs, and this one's not hard.
So basic, dude.
What a weak pick.
So basic, dude.
This one's pretty obvious. I think it's Stephon Diggs, just because. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think the Rams and the Bills are going to have a shootout game. Thursday Night Football is always the biggest game.
It's going to be like 54 to 52. That's going to be the final score. Watch.
It's going to be huge.
Especially in week 1. Week 1 is so unpredictable.
Week 1, I think Stephon Diggs is going to ball out with Josh Allen over there. So we'll see how it plays. I have Stephon Diggs as my Prince of the Hill. I have him finishing as my predictable number 1.
All right. What about yours, Colt?
Yeah, I have cojones, so I went with somebody that's actually who's a little who's a gamble, and it's Jamar Chase.
Boo! Wow, you're gonna dog my guy.
If anything, Jamar Chase is a little better than Stephon Diggs.
Yes.
No, I think the secondary specifically, cornerbacks, is rough for the Steelers. They have Minkah Fitzpatrick, obviously over the top is really good, but one guy can't cover T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, and Jamar Chase. And Adam, did y'all hear that thing that Joe Burrow said the other day in an interview when he was talking about all the ways that the Bengals can beat you?
About corn or something?
No, not about corn. This guy, man, and his corn. No, he was talking about how, if you want to stop the run game, you're going to have to crash the box against Mixon, and that'll be a mistake because then he's going to take the top off with with Jamar Chase. And he said, but go ahead and double coverage and watch what happens because Mixon's going to tear you up all day. And that's what this team can do. And one guy, Fitzpatrick, cannot handle all of that. And that's why I think Chase just goes bonkers, continues where he did last year. Yeah, I have him as a lock.
It's going to be tough to beat the Bengals this year, I think.
Yeah,
it is.
Bengals looking hella strong.
I had this thought today. Are y'all not in the slightest way concerned that they were a one-hit wonder? We went for a team, they have so much put together, right? And it's so good. But, we had them, last year, before they had their run, people were 6 wins, 7 wins. They didn't get a line they're going to be terrible. Joe Burrow proved them wrong, right? Mm-hmm. And they put it all together. is this roster just bust proof?
I think the only thing that brings fear to my ears with this team is their coaching staff. I think those are the only way. That's the only way that they're going to go down.
Coaches will beat the team.
I think the coaches will be the downfall of the team because they have the talent. They have the talent. No joke, they have the talent. But the way the coaches utilized them last year, they played so slow. They played extremely slow.
But see, a lot of people think that's the best way. So instead of trying to rush, I mean, yeah, you can rush, do the high tempo. But if you slow down, let pretty much you play your game.
Yeah,
you're playing your game with slow tempo. Because you're taking the time of the clock. You're taking control of the game. I like teams with slow tempos. I like teams with slow tempos.
For a fantasy perspective, though, slow tempos is not good. It's going to be it's going to be like a very like they're not going to score that many points early on. You want them to score a lot of points, because that makes you get a lot of points for fantasy. But yeah, I mean that's the only fear that I have. But we'll see. I 100% believe in Joe Burrow. I believe in the receivers over there, Joe Mixon as well. I mean, they're all good. They all have that number one capability.
Sure. So they put it together right.
Yeah.
So
good pick. For my running up the hill guy, he's a little down there, but I think he possibly could have made it. He's not way down there.
Way down there, man. He's not even number one on this roster.
And maybe because I'm being a little biased, but I think Sterling Shepard.
Boo. That's all right. You know what? That's okay. You know what? You're the bold. You have the boldest predictions.
Yeah. You know, I think okay.
There's bold and there's dumb. This is just dumb. This is just
Sterling Shepard came out saying that he's ready. He literally said,
"Oh, did he? Did he also say he's the healthiest he's ever been, like everybody else?"
I hope so. I hope he's ready to go.
Daniel Jones has to prove it this year. And this is his year. Now he's getting me kicked out the door. So I think he's really gonna sling it a lot to Sterling Shepard.
Hopefully you're right. We'll see. You know what? If you're right, I will give you a box of cookies.
Ooh.
So if you're right, if you're number one,
I'll give you some milk to wash down those cookies.
Oh, milk. Yeah. You know what?
Any variety, even strawberry.
Okay, since he's way down there, you have to give me more than cookies.
Oh, this guy. Okay. Give a pig a pancake. You ever heard of that? Go look it up.
You know what? You get nothing now. I'm not giving you anything.
Well, he's gonna be number one.
Shoot, he's so mad. Said anything? Yeah.
That's my guy. I'm sticking with them.
Sterling Shepard, whatever. Boom. Okay.
Yuck.
My guy for my running up the hill guy.
Automatically.
It's actually Cortland Sutton. And I think this is a really sneaky pick.
I like it.
I like Cortland Sutton. He was my sleeper against the Seattle Seahawks. I think Russell Wilson is going to go off. I think he'll be just angry at his former team. And I think Cortland Sutton will benefit from it. I think he'll catch at least 2 touchdowns. He'll get way over 100 yards. And I think he will be an amazing number one running up the hill pick. So
I like it.
That's my number one.
He could potentially be up there.
Oh, I know he can be up there.
Okay, this guy. No, I like the pick. You know, here's the only reason I like the pick. So I did just come back from Colorado. I went and I checked out the stadium.
Oh yeah.
Oh, great stadium. So he's going to play. I don't know. They've been playing at home. Before I even say that. Great stadium. So he's going to play.
They're in Seattle.
Oh, great. Okay. There goes that. Yeah, he's going to be terrible now.
Oh man. All right, cool. Who's your running up the hill guy?
Running up the hill for wide receiver is the obvious choice, Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood Brown.
Okay,
that's a good choice for week one. For
week one, DeAndre Hopkins is not back yet. Kyler Murray is going to go to the only person he knows.
Himself. He's going to run the ball always.
No.
That's why I got him, because he's a runner.
This is his wide receiver from college. They had a great connection, and this was the guy that was better. A lot of people forget, but go back and look at the draft analysis on him when he was coming out. He was a year ahead of CeeDee Lamb, and people were saying way more dominant than CeeDee Lamb ever was. He was the guy. Went to a bad situation where he just had a lot of drops. He had a great target share. 35% in Baltimore.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal target share, and he was taken high. And he gets open, though. If he can cut down on those drops, he gets open. And he has great reception rate with Kyler Murray. It's a college connection. We just rave about these college connections recently. You got Burrow, you have Lawrence, now you have Murray, and you have Brown. So I think early, especially week one, he has a very good chance to finish and just get some home run shots like he did with Lamar.
Going up against Kansas City, you might see a shootout. So
and they got rid of Tyrann Mathieu though, so they have a new safety. There's no one over the top to really help anymore. At least that's a notable name. So I think they can really take advantage of that. And it might be a shootout, and as long as Mahomes in it, it's a shootout, which keeps the Cardinals passing, which gives him more opportunity. Love Hollywood Brown this week.
Right. Phenomenal speed too. He's got outstanding speed.
Yeah.
Does he have yak?
He doesn't have yak.
Does he have yak? He has a whoop.
Now he's got that take the top off the defense. That's what he has.
He's a top.
Yeah. What, he can just blow past the safeties? Yeah. Take the top off of the defense.
All great picks. So pretty much we're going to keep
That was
score.
our king of the hill.
That was the king of the hill. We're pretty much going to keep scoring who, I won't say who got the most right, because it's kind of hard to, maybe see or have Saquon be number one, have Derrick Henry. I mean, Derrick Henry could be number one. But, we're going to see who got the most correct. And I love this because it just gives us more insight. Yeah, more insight, more competitiveness on players. And like I said, we cannot pick the same players again.
Yeah.
We have to keep on
You
choosing.
can pick them on different. You just can't pick them on back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
So if you like Saquon week 3, you can take him. You just can't have Saquon week 2.
Right.
Okay, I mean, but
it'd be tough to not
to
select
me,
different guys every single time.
To me, I'm gonna try to select something different. It's more like,
he's definitely getting last place. He's never taking the same guy for 17 weeks. Breece Hall is my number one this year. Oh, never mind. Michael Carter. I've already selected Breece Hall. Michael Carter is going to be my guy this week.
Khalil Mack?
Khalil Herbert.
Khalil Herbert, not Khalil Mack. Khalil Herbert. That's funny. So we have one more segment we want to share with you guys, and it's pretty much, since this is the last week till football season, we want to give out our last bold predictions in just the fantasy world, And when I mean by bold predictions, I mean like crazy things that could happen. For example, my prediction, I don't think Kamara will finish top 10 next year. Running back.
That's a hard one.
That's a hard accusation there. I think that the Saints are in a rebuild, and Kamara has been there for a while now, and I think they're going to try to rebuild everybody.
Okay.
They get a new quarterback, try to get a new running back.
Yeah.
Their offensive line, they're half and half. There's a couple of young guys, a couple of veterans, but I think that just the Saints, not the Saints won't do bad this year, but I don't think Kamara himself will be top 10.
Okay. They do have Mark Ingram over there again. So Mark Ingram is on that team now. And honestly, whenever Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara were playing together, that's whenever Alvin Kamara was great.
That's when he played his best.
That's when he played amazing. So I'll be shocked if he finishes outside top 10.
That's my bold prediction.
Yeah, no, I got you.
That's my bold prediction.
It's here to be bold, for sure.
Gotcha. It's very bold. I like that boldness on your prediction there.
What's your boldness?
So my boldness on my prediction is Allen Robinson finishes as a top 5 wide receiver this year. And here's why, okay? And I already see your faces. You guys are looking at me with your jaws dropped right now. So I think Cooper Kupp does have a down year this year because he's always had off and on years, and the other receiver on the other side has always benefited. So I think Allen Robinson is going to benefit from Cooper Kupp maybe having a down year this year. And so, like you've seen him in training camp, he looks amazing. He looks ready to go. We just got the news that Van Jefferson isn't going to be playing week 1.
Van Jefferson.
So I think it could be a very expected season for Allen Robinson to maybe finish as a top 5 receiver this year.
That is more bold than my boldness.
Yeah, yours is really bold.
Mine is very bold, and I'll take the boldness. Top 5 receiver.
You'll take the baldness?
I'll take the boldness.
Dude, okay, that's pretty bold. If he gets top 5 receiver, I'll take you out to dinner.
Okay.
Of his choice?
Of my choice.
Of my choice.
Nah.
No, his choice. Derek's choice.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't think he finishes top 10.
Okay. Well, I think he finishes top 5. So.
Okay, of your choice.
Of my choice, okay.
Okay, we'll shake on it.
Okay. Shaking on it now. Okay. The betting of the bets begins.
I need to keep track. We're going to lose track of all these bets. By the end of the year, we're going to be like, who finished last? We don't know.
All right, Colson. Who's your what's your bold prediction?
My bold prediction is that Gabe Davis of the Buffalo Bills finishes with more touchdowns than Stephon Diggs.
That is possible.
I think that's very bold, actually.
Do you think so?
I think it's very bold.
That's the most non-boldest prediction on the table. I mean, it's possible.
You think that's the most non-bold, and you had Kamara outside of the top 10?
Yeah.
Nah.
You think mine is...
I think yours... I think Colton's is more bolder.
You think he's more really? Dude, I'm not saying that it's like crazy bold, but it's possible. It could be possible.
I mean, it could be possible.
Gabriel Davis, towards the end of the season, was stepping up.
He was doing amazing.
Big time.
Yeah, so I feel like he will continue his run. I mean, I don't think he will outshine Stephon Diggs like crazy, but he might be close to his
we'll see. It's interesting. I mean, Stephon Diggs had like 125 targets last year, so he would have to really eat into that target share.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he has the opportunity to do so. And I like him as a red zone guy, and why I think he can have that opportunity.
So receiving wise, you're not.
No. Across the board, I think Stephon Diggs has the better year with total yardage, receptions, and but not touchdowns. I think that's where Gabe Davis has the ability to vulture off. I think you have Adam Thielen 2.0 here, just way bigger and way better.
Gabe
Davis.
Gabe. All right, guys. One more thing before we close out this episode. Week 1.
Week
football
1 is tomorrow.
My birthday.
Starts on my birthday. Colton's birthday is tomorrow. So give him a little happy birthday shout out on halftime_ADJ on Twitter. So, yeah, Colton's birthday
week
tomorrow.
1, boys. What is your favorite matchup this week?
Favorite matchup for week?
Is it
1?
Thursday? Is it gonna be Thursday?
I think. You know what? I think mine is tomorrow. I think so? I'm really excited to see what goes down tomorrow. You have a lot of things that are expected to be seen. You have Cam Akers coming in, so we are not. We don't know what he's.
You have
do.
the number 1 quarterback versus the Super Bowl champ.
Yep, number 1 quarterback versus Super Bowl champ. You have what's Allen Robinson going to do on that team?
He's going to explode apparently.
Is Cooper Kupp going to be as good as he was last year?
You have 2 top 5 receivers on that team. You know, I mean,
there's a lot to love about that matchup for sure.
Is Devin Singletary going to reproduce what he did at the end, towards the end of last year? I mean, is it going to be is it going to be like James White or
James Cook?
James Cook, yeah. Is it going to be a James Cook show? Is he going to take a bunch of carries away from him? It's expected to be seen what tomorrow brings, because I think there's a lot of newsworthy notes from tomorrow.
No, I'm the same way. I think there's a lot of great matchups this week, but I think the best powerhouse matchup is tomorrow.
Yeah,
just top teams is, like I said, week 1, opening strong. I think tomorrow will be my favorite. And let me get shorts, Colton. Dallas and Bucks, just because of last year.
The rematch of Dallas and Buccaneers. Yep, you nailed it. That's too much. There's so much. You talk about like great matchups. You get the actual GOAT, Tom Brady, and all the offseason drama that he has. Both teams have banged up offensive lines. The ACL comeback of Godwin.
He's out for game 1.
Is he out for game 1?
Yeah, he's out for game 1.
Well, then you have Mike Evans to see if he can prove it and be that guy.
And you got Julio Jones.
Julio just changed his number to number 6. So keep an eye out for number 6 on the field until he gets turf toe in the second half, and then he's out for the rest of the year. And CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott. There's a bunch
of questions around them. Yeah,
exactly. The offensive line.
They play Sunday night, so.
Ooh, I'm excited. Yeah,
Sunday night football. Cowboys versus Bucks.
Super excited for that game. Yeah.
I think the primetime games. I think my second best one is actually the Broncos versus the Seahawks.
A lot of revenge games.
Mine's the Chiefs in Arizona. I think that'd be
that's a fun one too. I like that one.
That'd be another powerhouse game.
Yeah, I like that one.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. We really enjoyed doing this with you guys, and appreciate you guys listening to us. And like I said, like my friend Derek said, follow us on Twitter at halftime_ADJ. It's Halftime Adjustments. We'll be here for your daily news, sports, podcasts,
we're
fantasy.
Great to follow. Yeah, we're great to follow.
Your fantasy shout outs, anything you need.
Help you win your league.
Help you win your leagues on there. So
remember, guys, this
follow.
is week 1 of NFL, so y'all rest up tonight because tomorrow is going to be a crazy day.
Oh, man. We are excited about football tomorrow. Let's go, baby. We are ready for football.
Hey, yeah, dude. Well, I got class tomorrow, so I won't be able
Okay.
to.
We are ready for football. Me and Colton will be
We're
ready.
so ready for football.
Y'all ready for football.
Yeah.
We are
All right,
ready
guys.
for
Thanks for
football.
tuning in. We will see y'all next time. Peace.
Later.